I'm Clement Bascoulergue from IAS. I'm very glad to be here today and presenting this awesome case study we did with GroupM in the past years, and very pleased to have also Bertrand discussing with me and presenting this case study. Sorry, we are two French guys speaking in English, so it's going to be not so good and not so easy to understand and to listen. So sorry for the French accent, but it's two French guys speaking English for EMEA, for all EMEA countries. So basically, I'm Clement. I'm head of strategic alliances for Southern Europe. I'm working closely with GroupM since 2015. We've got a strong partnership with GroupM in France and globally. And we've done in the past years one wonderful case study on programmatic with Mediacom around removing inefficiency. And we're going to show you the different steps we've done and explain how it works and benefits for the clients. So let's start with Bertrand. Bertrand, thanks for being with me. Can you please first introduce yourself and explain a bit of background regarding the challenges these main clients had and how you did it with IAS?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Clement. So hi, everyone. So as Clement said, I'm Bertrand, and I'm working at Mediacom as a business unit director. So part of my role back at GroupM was to lead the programmatic activity of a global account activated in more than 20 countries across the world, including very different regions, such as South America, Middle East, and Europe. We've indeed had several challenges when we onboarded our new clients centrally, and one of the major ones was to ensure we had a strong control and very good performances on brand safety, fraud, and viewability across all countries. So we knew that brand safety, fraud, and viewability are major topics for any client, but that was one particular one for ours. That having a strong and advanced programmatic strategy as we had, we needed to make sure that we had the control over our campaigns. So we developed a strong central framework for all programmatic activities, and especially for brand safety fraud, as it was one major request from a client, but also as it's also part of GroupM DNA across the globe.
Okay, thanks. So that's interesting challenges and not so easy to address and to solve for clients. So after looking at challenges, can you briefly explain us in terms of technology, in terms of tech, which solution were used for these clients, and regarding DSPs, but also regarding ad verification tools? So can you explain which techno did you use, and if you can specify around the pre-bid, because I know that pre-bid solution was a big part of your strategy.
Yeah, sure. So we used indeed several DSPs depending on our needs and depending also on the local use practices, and we needed one and only one brand safety solution which could be used in every single country, and that will enable us to gather all data and be able to monitor, optimize, and report on brand safety, fraud, and viewability figures, both at the local level but also at the central level, because this account was also managed centrally. So Integral AdSense was chosen as it was available in every single region, and we were also able to access a central dashboard that enabled us centrally to monitor and easily integrate the solution locally within the DSP we were using. So IAS had this advantage to be both local and central, and also, of course, we used to work with Integral AdSense for many other accounts, and we know how performing the solution could be. So what we did is we systematically used the tool to optimize all our digital ad buys across display and video for both desktop and mobile. And we basically had three goals. The first one was to increase viewability across all programmatic buys in every market. The second one was to reach invalid traffic and brand safety risk as close to zero as possible. And the third one was to save money from low quality impressions and be able to reallocate this money to efficient impressions. So we've used, as you said, both monitoring and the pre-bid solution. The pre-bid was the recommended one. So whenever it was possible, we used the pre-bid one to monitor, as I said, ad fraud, brand safety, and viewability. And it was available within all the DSPs that we were using. The combination of both solution, pre-bid and monitoring, enabled us to ensure we were on track when it comes to brand safety and fraud, and quickly identify and optimize campaigns when it was not the case. So this way, we were able to target impression with a viewability rate above the average and ad fraud and brand safety rates below the average.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Bertrand. Very clear. So, so we've been through technology, which is a huge part of what we do in tech, but there is also one part which is important, and I think we try to do it as much as we can at IAS. It's regarding service, global service, local service, and we've been working closely on this case. So I know it's been a lot of work for everyone at Mediacom and IAS, but can you explain how did you work with IAS centrally, globally, and which kind of support did you get from IAS teams?
Yep. So as I said, we had both a central support and the local one. The local one was more or less dedicated to operational work, and for any country who had a problem implementing the solution, that was very easy, and everyone managed finally to implement it. We, as you said, also had very strong central support. The teams in Clement really simplified our work. As mentioned before, we had a weekly dashboard that was available centrally, and that helped us a lot monitor each country's data and take actions whenever it was needed. And of course, the local team helped a lot locally, so that everything is on track and everything is tracked. Okay, great. So that's it was really a global and local service. Okay, thanks, Bertrand. So it's I think we've been explaining in details challenges, the tech you are using, and the service you are benefiting from IAS. I think it's time now to look at results and to look at results coming from this strategy of using IAS and working closely between Mediacom and IAS. So we're going to show one slide to introduce results, and let's start with one big KPI for clients, which is viewability. If we can look at results, and if you can explain what were the results in terms of viewability and improvement of viewability for this client. Sure. So as I said, we use mostly the pre-bid viewability segments, which allowed us to target impression before the bid occurs. So globally, we reached 68.8% of advertisers' desktop display ads viewable in September 2018, which is representing near to a 10 percentage point gain compared to what the results we previously had 6 months earlier. So this optimization also placed the brand above the global viewability average, with 67% of the brand's global ad impression viewable compared to the 61.6% average for programmatic buys. That's awesome. So that's great results. And if we look at different markets, was there any specificities in some markets, any specific increase or any challenges in some markets? We've seen that globally the increase was huge with 10 points, but was there any specificities locally? Well, at the end, all markets achieved viewability above the average. Some of them did outstanding performances, Spain and Italy, for instance, who exceeded local market viewability average by more than 10 percentage points. as I said, some countries were a bit specific, as each and every country do not have the same maturity when it comes to programmatic buying. So this maturity difference makes it even more important to use private segments, because that helps us a lot beat the local benchmarks.
Thanks, Bertrand. My only regrets concerning this case study is that France has not the highest level of viewability among all countries. So we need to do better for France next time, Bertrand. So after viewability, let's talk about fraud and brand safety. So same, we're gonna share one slide with results. And can you please explain us which were results for brand safety and fraud for this client?
Yeah, sure. So as you can see, the results for invalid traffic and brand safe rates are very good. Basically, what we did is we were using our global naming convention to map all the integrated science data, and using the dashboard then to monitor fraud and brand safety. So the risk to brand reputation was reduced across 20 markets by identifying content deemed non-brand safe by the brand, and then excluding all contents that integrated science flagged as high risk in line with the brand's requirements. This led us to those very good results. Additionally, risk posed by ad fraud was also highly reduced, and this can only be done using the private segments. Globally, ad fraud can impact up to 14.7% of advertising display impression on desktop, following the integrated science benchmark. So as you can see here, those results are extremely good.
Thanks, Bertrand. That's great. So we just saw that results were great for viewability, brand safety, and invalid traffic. But one thing which was really new and interesting about the way you were working on this case study is you've managed to identify how much spend have been reallocated to clean impressions or to good impressions for this client. Can you explain us which method and which way you were calculating this reallocation of spend for this client?
Yeah, so we indeed estimated that we saved 15% of campaign spend thanks to the solution. Its calculation has been made in a very easy process. We just took the average benchmark for fraud and brand safety and count the number of impressions that were saved thanks to the private solution, because as we mentioned before, we do not buy the impression when using the private solution. When there is a risk of fraud of brand safety, we just exclude the impression from the campaigns and we do not buy it. So we're saving basically some money. So we just calculated the number of impressions that were saved, compare it to the average CPM that we got in each country. And this way we were able to calculate using impression and average CPM the estimated campaign spend that were saved, and we reached this figure of 52, which is huge, especially for global clients. And when we talk about clients that invest lots of money in lots of programmatic.
Thanks. That's really great. Just one last question regarding this case study, and then we're gonna open to one new product. What was your biggest learning from this case study and this work on this client on this programmatic challenge? If you've got one big learning, you can share with all the people attending this innovation summit.
Yeah. So here at GroupM, we used to work with integrated science, and we knew that, and we know that the solution is highly efficient, is necessary on every campaign. Those figures has proven that that was effectively the case, and this estimation of 50% money spent that was saved is one figure that proves with a specific figures that using integrated science has lots of benefits. We sometimes use it knowing that it helps a lot to improve brand safety and fraud, but we do not calculate it, we do not do such calculation when using integrated science. So this just confirmed that it was necessary to apply private segments whenever it is possible. It also confirmed us that IAS is a solution which is a global one that can be deployed at a central level to all countries. And of course, we would like to go further on this topic because we've proven through this case that integrated was really and highly efficient.
That's a good intro for my last part. So as you know, we are presenting today at an IAS Innovation Summit. So I'm glad to present one big innovation we launched this year. It's a partnership with Amino Payment. We launched this partnership with Amino Payment in programmatic landscape with one common product, which is Total Visibility. This product is mixing the auditing part from Amino, which is a great techno able to identify the supply path cost taken by each and several partners, and we are mixing this data with IAS verification data to help clients to identify exactly which amount is lost in non-viewable impression, non-safe, and bots. So that's really interesting because that's exactly what you did with this case study, and with this new tool and this new partnership, it's a way to do it with even more accuracy because we are now able to identify impressions per impression, the value which is lost per ad verification. So that's something which is really powerful and which helps us to go even further with clients like you did. Is it for you the next step for this kind of clients to keep moving forward and keep bringing them this kind of efficiency analysis, but with even more accuracy?
Yes, for sure. I mean, we've proven that those solutions were very efficient. So we, of course, are looking for new ways to improve our campaigns' performances. So for sure, this is something that we will be looking at. We, as you know, already have some discussions locally in France to use it. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bertrand. Thank you so much for your time and for all these details on this great case study. So we were lucky to have you today, and thank you so much for being there.
Thank you, Clement. Bye-bye.
Merci beaucoup. Merci à tous.